Welcome back.
Yes, sir. We back. We doing this. We got guests.
Simps and Pimps. We actually have two guests. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Spencer, aka Dough Rock.
And I'm Christine.
No AKA?
I don't have an AKA.
Oh, man. We need to
make that one.
Yeah, I was going to say. We'll come up with one by the end of this session for sure. About
Okay,
that.
for those who don't know why there's an AKA.
Well, I usually don't go by Spencer, really. A lot of people call me Dough.
Okay, dough, money.
Or like Dough Rock, Doughrilla, but usually Dough.
And that's like your dance name because you guys are dancers.
So as far as that goes, how and when did you start dancing, though? Specifically, I kind of was curious. This question is for both of you, by the way, since both of you are dancers. Kind of technically, three of us are like dancers now, and one of us is like more of a retired cheerleader. But
Hey.
but yeah,
Actually started in my sophomore year of high school.
oh wow,
That's like in 2003. You know, just I saw it before, but I didn't do it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know. But then when I got into high school, I had a friend who really like was about it. So I started in 2003. I went to battles and yeah.
I started in like 2002, I think.
whoa,
That's
amazing.
Wow.
I was really into drum and bass at the time. And so I was going to these drum and bass parties, and that was where I first saw people breaking. And someone taught me the 6-step, and I went home and I taught my roommate, and then she and I, that was like all we had, and we would just
What?
practice the
That's
6-step
cool.
all the time.
That's actually really
Yeah. And then we eventually learned more. That was in North Carolina. And then I moved to Portland in 2005. And I was breaking here a little bit until like mid 2006. And actually, the first battle that Spencer entered, I was there at the battle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love at first
It
sight.
was
No.
no, we didn't met at the time.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I was actually in AAO. That was my first crew,
AO.
and that's
AAO.
first battle was the
AAO. Okay.
Against
The
all
first
odds.
battle
Gotcha.
was the ballroom
PSU.
PSU battle. The first one they threw
Oh.
90 throwed there.
Wow.
It was like back in 2007, 2006, I think.
I saw all the battles. I don't remember him, you know?
Ooh, no one remembers it.
I know, right? Well, my first one.
It was his
Yeah.
first battle.
I know.
Well,
just kidding.
And it was
My-
new to me.
Yeah.
My
too.
first battle was against Roasty.
It was.
Yeah.
He won that battle.
He
It was
won
a
that
3v3.
battle.
Was that the one
When he won against himself, or no, when he
He entered on his
By
own.
himself.
3v3.
by him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was
That's
my,
legendary.
That was my
by the way.
first
That's
battle.
insane.
And he smoked everybody.
That's
He didn't even plan to like the battle. The Mighty was like, "Hey, we're gonna just put you in."
What?
Yeah.
By himself?
Yeah.
Mighty just said do
Yeah,
it.
just do
by
it.
yourself.
Yeah.
Rosie said fuck it.
Yeah, you just do it.
Yeah, but I was there for that, but I wasn't battling at that time. Like, I don't know if I ever thought that I would battle.
Oh, wow.
And then I stopped dancing for a long time after that. I kind of fell out of breaking, and I got married. I had kids. It was like 10 years probably I walked away from dancing.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Man.
Yeah, and then I started whacking with Kumari. So much love and respect for Kumari. They've done so much. And for Portland dancing as well. They're based in London now.
Wow.
But they were teaching a whacking class, and I was like, oh, I really want to learn from them. I had taken a class with Kumari in 2006.
For sure.
That really saved me. It made me realize like whacking, because it came from the gay community in LA in the 70s at a time when the people who were practicing this dance, they had to hide who they were, you know, and then it was finally like in the clubs, they're like, this is me, this is who I am, you know, like finally I
Oh,
get
that's
to be
cool.
free. And doing that made me realize like how much I was repressing myself, like just
Yeah.
really consumed by my roles as a mom and a wife, and like how I thought I needed to be and behave in those roles.
Gotcha.
So what made you stick with dancing?
Oh, I have to say it saved my life, honestly. Like, my home situation as a child was not good for a child to be around. Like, my mom and my sister were into, like, the meth world. And we've been homeless like bunch of times because of that lifestyle. So I've been
Oh, man.
street smart at a young age. You know,
Yeah.
I had to like figure out how to survive myself on the street because I didn't like at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking really like took my eye or took me a whole nother like hope towards my life. And when I surrounded myself and kept learning from different dancers, I fell in love with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, like it really like this is where I needed to express my story. This is
Yeah.
how I can
Yeah.
express my story in a way I feel comfortable, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's from there. I just like I kept doing it. I kept going to practices and meeting different dancers and trying to learn knowledge around the culture. You
Yeah.
know, how to be like real to yourself when it comes to like expressing yourself on the dance floor.
Yeah. No, I feel like you have a very clear grasp of that because not a lot of people can express themselves the way that you do. You know, that was one big thing, at least for myself, if I could speak about it, that I looked at you and I said, that's a person that I could admire and that I definitely want to present myself very similar to that. You know, I didn't want to be exactly like yourself because I knew that biting was bad. You know,
We'll get to that
Yeah.
point because look, biting, man, I'm kind of done with that. Like it's
Okay,
it's
interesting.
because so many moves are gonna be done.
Yep.
Look, all these new generations coming up. Look how many moves they're pulling off. Like that hasn't been done in the past, right?
For sure.
Every move is gonna be done. We should enjoy the people who are actually doing it, even if it's your move. At least be humble that they're doing it because they've seen you do it and they want to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when you do that, it's like you're pushing people away. Like, why do you want to make them feel uncomfortable? You
I've
know what-
always
yeah.
had that thought.
You
with
know what I
biking,
mean?
yeah.
Like, it's not about what level you are. It's about bringing your story in, like showing you, like, are you having fun? Are you enjoying yourself with this culture?
Is that what you would look for when you were judging mainly?
Man, judging is hard. Okay, that was a from trauma background. A lot of stuff can trigger me when it comes to learning new things.
Well, yeah, going back to the biting part that you're talking about, it always reminds me of this song. I think it's by the band Wilco. There's these lyrics. It's about, I'm just going to paraphrase because I don't remember them, but it's basically saying, like, if you want to sing a song, if you want to paint a painting, just do it and don't worry about what other people say. But once you do it, once you create something and you put it out, it's not yours anymore. You gave it to the world.
Oh, I like
Oh, wow.
that.
And I always
That's
think
crazy.
about that when I think about biting. It's like we create stuff, we put it out, and now it's there for everyone,
For
right?
everyone, that's
I
true.
love how you said that, babe, because that's actually a good message.
Yeah, it
Especially
is.
if you want to grow your community and feel like it's a safe place to be around and to feel vulnerable and not feeling like you're being judged because you're doing a certain type of move, right? We have to accept doing people's moves.
So did you guys meet through dance then?
Yeah.
Yes.
How long
You
ago?
can tell us.
Okay, I'll tell the story.
Okay.
It was 6 years ago, almost to the day. Like, I think
Whoa.
it was April 26th.
Almost anniversary day. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we met at Wicked Wednesday, and I was looking for people to vibe with. Like, I really just wanted to dance. I wanted to cipher. Like, I was 10 years out of the scene, so I didn't really know anybody. I didn't know, I was trying to find my community kind of and just people to get down with. So I went out by myself to Wicked Wednesday, and it happened to be like sometimes DJ Wicked would have a night for the B-boys and B-girls.
Oh, nice.
And so it was one of those. And at the time, like, I was just focusing on whacking. I was trying to find more people to do that with. And I didn't really think I could break anymore. I was 35. Yeah, 35. And I thought, like, when I was younger, I didn't see people, like, over 30 breaking. So I just didn't think it was something I could do. Like, it wasn't even in my mind. And then Spencer was out with some of his
Marco.
crewmates, Schoolie, Marco,
And
and I was like, I knew Marco from before. I knew like several of his crewmates actually from when I was breaking in Portland before
Oh,
I met
really?
Spence. Yeah.
Cool.
Before he got done with them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so I saw Marco and I was like, I think he's older than me and he's still doing it. Like, I can do it too.
I'm dead.
Dang. Just calling everyone out.
Sorry.
Oh, you're old.
But yeah, so we met. I saw the way he danced, kind of what you were saying, like the way he expressed himself was also similar to what I wanted. Like what my focus was just I wanted to express myself, and I felt like if I could do that, I would attract the community that I wanted, like the people I wanted to be around.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so, yeah, I watched them like ciphering for a bit from the side, and then I went and joined and hopped in the cipher, and it was super fun. And we had a moment where we like met eyes, and
Oh, y'all had a movie scene going on? That's awesome.
time stopped. I swear.
That's
Oh,
cool.
that's
That's so
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, it was like one of those moments. And then when I left, like, I'm a shy person. Like, I don't have game at all.
Okay.
I'm the pimp. And
Yes. Yes.
So
Pimps.
we know who went for who. Nice.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much, you know.
We talked after he came up, and I was like, "Do you come here often?" Because I'm like trying to find out where people are going out to vibe, you know.
Yeah.
And he told me sometimes, and then he told me about First Fridays at the Goodfoot, which had been going on for a long time, like since 2006 when I was here.
It used to be every Friday.
Every week.
Like, we used to go
No kidding.
every Friday and just get down.
So that was like a practice spot almost.
It was more like not a practice, more like letting loose. Because
Oh,
the
that sounds
funk,
fun.
because it's funk music. I mean, you're around a lot of like people are drinking, but it's in like a basement, right? So,
Yeah.
but they had funk music, and those kind of music we like to get off, you know. And we go there every Friday, and we just get down. We just go off, and I feel like that helped us build ourselves more into like knowing how to like just freestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You know, because like it's not a place where you're just battling or anything like that. You're not worrying to have to do this kind of thing, this kind of. We're just going there to like dance and just get funky and get weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I went out there. It was like pretty intimidating. It was all b-boys. Like I was the only woman there, and I was like not breaking, so I was like, I don't know if I can get in this cipher, but I was like, I didn't come here to not dance,
True.
you know?
True.
So I got down a little bit, and there was just like always this like attraction to each other. Like we were just like this, you know? I just like pulled us close together.
You got done with your set, and all of a sudden you were in Spencer's arms, like, whoa.
It was like that.
Yeah.
How'd I get here?
Oh my God.
Right.
Then we had our first kiss that night
Ooh.
outside the
dang.
Who
club.
leaned in?
Her.
Of course. The pimp.
Well, because she were like, look, because I had no game, right? I don't know how to communicate game. Right?
You leaned away.
She led the way. She's like, want to go outside? I was kind of hesitating. I was like, yeah, okay.
What's gonna happen?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Because I wasn't even sure. Like, does this guy like me? Like, I was sending him messages,
wow.
like trying to be a little bit flirty, and he was just like smiley face.
Oh, God.
I was like, is he into me? Is he into girls? Like,
did
I
you-
didn't
Is he
even
into
know.
girls?
Yeah, I didn't know.
I know you don't have game, but did you kind of like at least see the hints that were being thrown at you?
Yeah.
Okay. At least, yeah, it was received.
And part of me was just like, cause like not having skills. Like I grew up I didn't graduate because of like the lifestyle and not knowing how to communicate or my feelings or my, you know. But I don't know how to go about it.
So good thing she took the reins.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention that I appreciated about Spencer, like when we met, I felt like my dancing reach, and like I was saying, I want to be able to express myself, and like I felt like he heard me, you know, and that that meant a lot to me. And he made
awesome.
me, and it's the way he dances. Like I don't know if you feel this way too. He makes me want to express myself more, like share more of myself.
Yeah.
maybe because I feel safe.
Mm.
Like, I feel like it's going to be received, you know?
I think like a lot of that PCR, like Portland City Rockers, I feel like they open this kind of gateway to where it almost seems like it's safe to have that self-expression, you know? So,
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
mean, back in when I got down with them, there was a lot of politics around our dancing.
oh, yeah.
People were doing moves a lot, you know, and they were acting like that was the real thing, and we're like the goofiest one. We shouldn't be out there, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like, it's funny. It's like 5 years later, they're like, "Oh, I want to dance like you."
Yep.
I wanna
No.
be like that." That's like you
Wow.
can.
Full,
You
full
can.
180.
Everybody can dance. It's just finding yourself in the music.
Yeah.
That's how you build musicality, honestly. And not even that, just play around with it.
So you feel like the movement matters more than the moves itself?
Yeah, for me at
Okay.
least. But that's why judging was so hard. Because
Yeah.
for me, I'm like new to that world. And sometimes when it comes to showcase, there's like points for who's doing good, who's not doing good, right? I
Yeah.
didn't know those points. I had to open up to the surge and Juan that about like my situation, how I don't understand things, you know, because of my trauma and all that. So
Gotcha.
So what's the trauma that like triggers when you're judging?
education,
Okay.
Oh.
education really triggers my head because at this age, like some people should know some words, you know. I mean, not all words, but most of the words, their understanding of the words, right? I didn't, you know. So it was more of like when when we were in the back trying to like pinpoint who's gonna go to the next round and who did good, who did not do good, and who had more points than this people. I was like so confused, and I was just going with it.
Oh, gotcha.
And I didn't want to make it look. I don't want to be embarrassed, you know, because I was like, I'm at the age like I should know this, right? And that's what triggers me when it comes to educational stuff. Like even when I go to school,
Yeah.
like I still have little triggers here and there because of not knowing that word.
I
That's
saw
definitely
you
cool.
posted not that long after Sweet 16 that you won't be judging anymore. What made you come to that decision?
Actually, part of me was I didn't want to judge, but I want to give back.
Okay.
Right? That's my goal, is giving back to the community, giving back for the love of it, right? The reason why, I had an episode a day before that where I saw something that triggered me through my family.
The day before the post,
Yeah, the
Oh,
day before
gotcha.
the post.
after the battle.
Seeing my mom going back to the lifestyle she was in, having to like catch her doing it, you know, like it was like,
Yeah.
it really made me sad, but it made me angry. I blew it up. I blew it up on her. I didn't like it. I didn't want it to be that way, but it was like, I had to. Because in my inner me is like, I don't want to feel like something's holding me back. You put me in a house where I felt not safe. I felt like I couldn't express myself or not feeling acknowledged, you know? And then at the same time, being abused, you know? And being sexually assaulted by my stepbrother, you know? And not even know how to express. I didn't even come out until I got with her.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. Wow.
Yeah. Like, I felt comfortable. Like, she made space for that, you know?
Wow.
You're amazing for that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
you
Thank
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's amazing though.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's able to open up. you
Yeah.
know?
No, it's
Without that, actually, I
Takes so
wouldn't.
much
I
courage.
wouldn't be here right now, honestly, because like I would probably be stuck, not making steps in my life. That's why breaking saved my life. You know, like
yeah.
and the people around it. You know, like really saved my life because they welcomed me, they acknowledged me, they gave me a space to feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, I don't sincerely say like I want to quit judging. But I want to take time to understand
Sure.
how I can judge in a way where it's not the same way as judging others, but just to understand the criteria
Yeah,
of.
makes sense.
Ever since I went to therapy, I felt more comfortable being open.
Oh, wow.
Are you
Therapy-
still in therapy?
Not right now. I should be.
I think everyone should be.
I should be. I didn't know. You're right.
Well, the thing with that, it's like a resource issue. And I mean, that's a larger societal issue, right? Just like access to mental health, access to therapists.
Yeah.
Because the therapists that Spencer was seeing were like completing college.
College, yeah.
So it was kind of like an internship. So it was like affordable
Gotcha.
therapy.
Oh,
And so, but then when their time's up, they move on. So that's hard when you've like shared your whole story. You've gone through like accessing all these memories and you're building with someone and then it's over
You have to
and you have to
restart.
start over
Yeah.
with someone who you might not connect with
That's hard.
as well.
It is.
Mhm.
It's very
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. I feel like the next generation is not safe. It's not.
It's not.
It's not. You know, like they don't have a space to go to feel vulnerable or to feel like you can cry or you can
Exactly.
or not to be judged to feel like, oh, you being a whiny or all that
Yep.
kind. It's like, no, man, this is what heals us.
Yep.
It's well needed for anybody, any community.
Yeah.
Like anybody, everybody should learn mental health.
What's it like for you, like being in a relationship with someone who has so much like traumatic background and easily triggered by certain things? Because we're kind of in the similar boat with being in a relationship with someone who has a lot of mental issues.
Yeah, I did a lot of reading and research to help me understand what Spencer might be going through and like how the brain works with trauma and the body's response, and that's helped a lot. So like I can recognize when he's triggered and like just kind of acknowledge it and call it out so that we can kind of like reset or like
Yeah.
get back to zero before we continue our conversation about whatever.
What is it?
Yeah.
You said ADHD, and what else are you
ADD.
diagnosed with? ADD.
Honestly, I feel like I think that just those symptoms comes from how much I've been abused in my life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't want to say we're like that. We're permanently ADHD. We're not gonna. It's just more like how we grew up and how our brain developed around that. So
Spencer needed to release a lot of emotion and a lot of sadness and just kind of express what he's been through. And he still does sometimes. So part of it is also just like understanding the cycle and like when he needs to release, is what I'd say.
yeah.
Like when he needs my emotional support in different ways. And then it's also for me though, like I have to make sure I'm keeping boundaries for my own mental health, and
Yeah.
like
That's very important.
yeah, like recognizing when like, hey, I can't take this on, like I can't support you in this way right now. And we've talked about that too, why it's important that in relationships, well, in like a romantic relationship, that we have support from people outside of our relationships. Like we're not each other's only
yeah,
So that's a lot of
support.
pressure
Yeah,
on one
exactly.
person.
yeah.
And we can't always be that. Like sometimes we both need to lean, and if we can't support each other, it's important we have other networks
Yeah, for sure.
that we can lean on.
Yeah. The only hard part is dealing with the emotions.
Yeah.
Like dealing with the depressions. Depression that takes over you. Like you just you want to shut down the world. You just don't want to be near anybody. Or just don't want to deal with anything negative, right?
Yeah.
Well, and I think we've kind of like come to an understanding of like what we need to do in certain situations.
When we say something wrong in a situation, we're like, hey, can we say it this way? Let's practice this way.
Oh yeah, we do that.
Oh wow.
It's
So
very
that-
effective.
So that
No kidding.
so we can get used to that and knowing that we don't.
He
have to,
hated
like-
that. I'm so happy you're saying this now. Remember, you used to hate doing that.
Yeah.
It is. You're like role playing the situation again, but it's like, okay, this is what happened. You responded this way because you were triggered. Like, let's
Yeah.
try it again.
Yeah.
In the beginning of our relationship, it was pretty bumpy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a lot of
Just
work.
because she didn't know like my triggers and how I react, and when I react intensely,
Yeah.
and I did it a lot around her kids, and I didn't want her to do that. I didn't want her to be that way. So when she gave space to me to explain myself, it helped me understand. She gave me resources toward
Wow.
therapy, and then it helped me understand how can I communicate my pain.
I just really admired him. I was
Aw.
so excited to
Wow.
be spending time with him.
I was surprised.
That's amazing.
Coming
You
in.
looked way past everything. You're just like, I'm just happy to be with you.
You know,
that's
he
really
was
cool.
he was going to the youth detention centers with Carlos
Carlos,
with Morpheus
yeah.
Youth
Oh
Project.
yeah, like
Too.
the McLaren.
Yeah, we was doing a lot of that
Yeah.
with them.
I remember doing one with you too.
Oh yeah,
We were in a
did
car
the-
crash at that time.
yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
It was crazy.
When we crashed into that car with Carlos.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Oh, so it was not like a bad crash.
Yeah.
But we were going over the, you know that bridge that goes down, it goes over
Separates like Beaverton and
into Salem. When we entered that bridge, there was a graffiti that we saw on
No.
in between
That's
the
why you
bridge, on the
crashed.
roof of the bridge, like under the other bridge.
mm-hmm.
And he was like admiring it, and all of a sudden he knew that he had to brake, and he broke, and it had just hit the car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Funny.
Luckily,
True
just-
graffiti head.
Justin said something like, "Hey, yo," and then boom.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
Justin was there?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Like I can't
This is
remember.
Jade, Justin, Spencer, myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would see when Spencer would go, he
Yes,
would
yeah.
come back and be so happy. It was like a different side
That's awesome.
than what I saw from when he was like spending most of his time at home, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know, you could do that on your own. You don't have to wait for Carlos to ask you to go. There's other places you can work with youth and you could teach them dance and you can connect with them.
He's
Given-
actually a youth advocate at NAYA. That's his full-time job.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool, man.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so obviously I work with you too, so
That's
I
cool.
can definitely
That's
resonate
good.
with you when it comes to
Yeah.
that.
It's good, rewarding feeling, you know, when they actually. I still connect with one of my clients, my old student. I don't say student clients, but I say he's like family to me, you know.
Yeah.
But I helped him a lot in the emotion, give him space to feel vulnerable and all that. I didn't know I was helping that much, but
Yeah.
when he was expressing that, he gave me more hope of like wanting to give more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We just need to put more work into our community, you know.
Make it safer.
Yeah, make
Make
it
it more
safer,
positive.
more positive.
What do you do for work?
Oh, I do research.
Oh,
Research.
I work on the National Survey on Drug Use and Health.
really?
Hmm. So it's just
Wow.
like collecting data. I train people to collect the data, and then some of our teams analyze it and give it to an agency of the government.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I work for the CIA. It's like exposed. Crazy. Well, we were kind of curious, like, how many kids do you have?
Oh, I have two kids.
Two.
Two
How old?
boys. They're 10 and 12,
Aw.
fourth grade and sixth grade.
Oh wow.
I've become like the most uncool person in the world to
Yeah.
them.
God, middle schoolers.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm telling you.
It really started last year for my older son in fifth grade. I remember he thanked me for not going on a field trip
What?
with him.
No.
I would be so heartbroken.
Oh, it was so sad. He was all sincere about it too. He was like, "I really appreciate it." I was like,
Aw.
"Oh,
You
my
know-
heart."
You know what's crazy is because we were kind of the same thing when we were younger. We didn't want our parents to go on our field trips, and
Yeah.
we didn't want them, you know, embarrassing
Cramping our
us.
style.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, Mom, why you messing up my game right now?
But give me my Capri Sun.
Yeah, I'm not that heartbroken by it. Like I get that it's just normal, and overall we have a really good relationship. So
Yeah.
I'm
Do you
happy
want
for
more
that.
kids?
No, I do not
You're
want
done.
more kids.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
a
a
lot of
big
work.
sacrifice. It's a lot of work. You give up a lot of your time. Like I didn't even know I wasn't happy until my
Wow.
youngest son was like 3 and I had time to actually like think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be like, "Oh, I'm this is actually not the life I want to be living at all," you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'm not like following my own goals and my own dreams. I'm not even paying attention, like I said, to my thoughts, let alone
Yeah.
my dreams, you know?
Because you
Yeah.
had to be a caretaker
Yeah.
first at the time.
What would your advice be to like a parent that doesn't have kids yet? Because we've been talking about a family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you wish someone would have told you before you had kids?
Make time for yourself. Like, make a lot of time for yourself.
Okay.
You know, like,
Yeah.
you should both be doing like your own things
Yeah.
as well. You know, because it also like having kids changes the dynamic of a relationship because it is so time consuming. Like, you're constantly just taking care of the kids or making food or cleaning up the house or getting chores done or grocery shopping or whatever. It's like non-stop. There's not a lot of relationship time. So like, yeah, make time for the two of you together, but also time just to do your own thing and be your own person, because it's really easy to get lost. I think especially for mothers.
Yeah.
But you know, so like make sure you're making.
When it comes to just breaking too, like if you step away from it for a while and then do other things or make it other times and other kinds of art or approaches, you come back into it with a different kind of mindset, and it almost makes you better appreciate it and also like just become better in that. And so I can totally see what you're saying. Just stepping away, time for yourself, regrouping, finally getting back to that homeostasis, and then boom.
I had a lot of time to think about if I wanted to really be with Spencer. We didn't tell you the whole story because, like, yeah, we kissed that night at the Goodfoot, and then we made plans. We went to Mount Tabor, like, maybe the next week or something, and had, like, a little picnic and watched the sunset. It was super cute. And then we actually... We ended up making out in my car until after the park closed and we couldn't get out. Like they
Y'all
locked
were
the
stuck.
gates. Yeah.
So
we could walk, but my car was stuck, so I had to like go back and get my car. But it was cute. Like, and then it started raining on us, and he like gave me his jacket, and I was like.
Jesus, what? This is a damn movie.
It's like Notebook.
Right?
The Notebook?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I felt like, well, this is a good sign that we're, like, all these things are going wrong, but we're still, like, so happy with each other, right? It was super cute. We, like, just kept giving each other kisses. Remember when we were walking, like, every 3 steps, we were like...
Yeah. We were kids. It was crazy because when she got in her Lyft car, like, we were just looking at her. She had her hands on the window. I was all like...
And then after that,
For real.
I didn't hear from him for whole month.
Whoa.
4 weeks.
What?
And I didn't see him for 4 months. Yeah.
What?
What are you doing?
Jesus.
Like I said, I didn't have no game.
Simp.
Like I said, I had no game. No way of communicating. I was embarrassed. Like, I was embarrassed to have her come see my lifestyle.
But
Gotcha.
I did see his place that day.
That night, I was like, I wonder if she really likes me or not. Because if not, like, I don't know if I want to embarrass myself. You know what I mean?
The rejection almost? Or,
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? Is that I thought that, because he opened up a lot. Like, just like what he shared, like, about his lifestyle growing up. Not everything, but, like, being homeless, his mom using drugs.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he shared a lot. I wonder if he's feeling that way. Like, let me tell him that I enjoyed spending time with him and I want to continue doing that. So I did, but I guess you still had doubts.
And then just ghost.
I think I started to build that confidence when we started seeing each other more, you know, so.
Well, we, like, then he reached out to me after a month and was like, sorry, I've been sick. I was like, really? For a month?
Well, not a month, but I was sick.
That's funny.
I was sick in summertime of those weeks I was, but then...
You called out.
Yeah, I did.
But during that time, I was still kind of reflecting on like, well, I don't know, maybe he's not into me, but I was into him, and I was happy about that. I was happy that I met someone who made me feel that way. And like, I don't know, again, maybe because like I felt like I already been married, I already had kids. There's no like pressure that you have. I don't know if you feel this, but as a woman, like before I had kids, I'm like, I have to have kids. Like eventually,
Yes.
I'm not gonna be able to, you know. But that's not on my mind. So I had time, you know. Like maybe he's gonna like me, maybe he's not. But I was happy to just be able to be like fully honest with my feelings and with what I wanted, you know.
Definitely.
I went to street shows. I saw him at street shows.
Oh, man.
And again, it was that same energy, just like right
Wow.
away. I was like,
Again,
oh, okay.
falling in his arms, crazy.
Yeah.
Well, this was embarrassing me on that day too, because I tried to go for a kiss. She's like, no, my kids are here.
Oh.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's
First of all, I
Okay.
haven't seen him for 4 months. He didn't say, hey, come out to street shows. He just posted that he's going to be at street shows, and I was like, well, that sounds fun and something I wanna go do.
Wow.
And it's funny because her son, she had a bottle of water. I ended up drinking out of it. And her son was like, who's that guy who's drinking out of our water bottle?
Yeah, he was so concerned. They still remember
Who's that
that.
guy? He's drinking our water bottle.
Yeah, what's that guy drinking our water
How
bottle?
are your kids around him? Like,
That's so funny.
My kids love Spencer.
That's
They love
awesome.
him so much.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love those kids.
That's awesome.
is that something you were worried about going into the relationship? Like your kids' approval?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's,
feel like it would-
I think that's common for a step person to come into life.
No, the
But I
energy's
give
crazy.
Spencer a lot of credit as a stepdad. It's like, it's really not easy to play that role.
It made me realize I should be supporting women more.
What are your future plans, or are you just riding the wave of life now?
Riding away with life. I think learning again with her, sometimes you can't. I mean, you can plan in the future, but you don't know the outcome of it. You just gotta go in your day to day and keep growing those day to day
Love it.
lives. You know what I mean? Because when you plan something, it can be overwhelming too. Like
Yeah.
stressful. Like this is my goal. I gotta get there. But really, when you go day to day and just keep learning, you know, you start to you just flow with it. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
What about dance? Any goals there?
Teach.
Just teach more.
Teach more. I mean, let me be honest, like, we need more youth.
Yeah.
We need more youth in our community, especially if we want to keep our culture
Community alive,
alive and our scene. We all have to, like, teach. That's why I'm teaching in elementary school right now, even though that can be hard too. But
Yeah.
at that age, but at the same time, we keep teaching and set examples, and even if it's not for them, just teaching the art and the hip hop culture, that does save lives, and just, I think just teaching in general, like, well,
Yeah.
I want to keep doing and just giving back.
What about you?
Keep building Cypher Queens. That's a big goal.
What is Cypher
Nice.
Queens? I see posts about it all the time, but I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
what it is.
Okay, so Cypher Queens started in Seattle in 2019. It was started by B-Girls up there. Naj, B-Girl Naj is the one who runs it. She's been an amazing mentor. And then their mission is just to create a safe space for B-Girls to learn, session, cipher, and build community that empowers women. And the vision is that in doing that, like in empowering women, then the entire community will benefit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say in addition to like more kids, we need more women and we need more people like across the gender spectrum, right? So I hope we can have more conversations around that, like everyone's just having conversations, understanding what people feel when they come to battles and when they come to jams and when they come to session, like what are they feeling now? What would make them feel more comfortable? And shout out to my girl Monica, B-Girl 2 Flow. We co-lead the sessions, and she really pushed me to kind of like get going with that. Or she was like, let's do it. I want to do it. I talked to Naj, and then like kind of took the steps to get us going.
That's great.
Yeah, she's been a great partner in that. And I mean, for myself, like I want to keep training. I started late. Like I've only been doing this for maybe 5.5 years, so I still have a long way to go and like so much room to grow. So I wanna keep training, and it's been a good journey. Like I enjoy seeing how my view of dancing and my approach has kind of shifted as I learn and grow more. Like breaking has made me really like value myself and my my time, like, or it helps me love myself better and love my body better.
Yeah.
You know, because to get the moves, you have to put in the time, you have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And now I'm 41, I have to take care of my body, or I'm not gonna be able. It's just gonna break down. You know.
Yeah.
So like, taking all that time, like I'm, you know, like we were saying, I have 2 kids. I'm a mom. I work full time. I pay all the bills. Like I don't even get child support. You know, like
Wow.
I'm
Super
in.
mom.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm in
for
charge of
real.
everything.
That's insane. Shout out to all the super moms.
Yeah, shout out to all the super moms for real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, but so like I have to really be cognizant of like building time to practice and being aware of like this is for me. Dance is a gift that I give to myself. Making space to practice, that's a way of showing self-love.
Why are you here to stress out? You pay $20, $15 to stress out. What's the point? What's the point? I'd
so
rather
true.
stress out at home and have food and everything and watch something
That's
TV
true.
than when I'm going to pay to go to an event. I want to have fun, so I'm going to make time to put that energy into the, you know what I mean? So
It's a
that's
good
why,
way to look at it.
yeah, you know, like
Yeah.
You saying that reminded me like I appreciate being with Spencer for all these years and hearing his perspective on dance and on battling and like the focus on the joy and having fun. I think that helped me kind of like it kind of sticks with my approach with I just want to express myself and have fun too, but to kind of have that as someone who's been doing it for a long time, show me that example, you know, so I could kind of keep that in my head, like keep that as my main focus.
yeah. I mean, because like some people are in a battle mode, you know.
Mhm.
People train to go battle, you know.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's more like, are you having fun doing it?
You look like you have a thought.
I'm trying to place it all together, because I think there's also like it's a very rewarding feeling to train really hard and then to master moves and to be able to showcase them like that.
Yeah.
That's something too that matters, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like that training with Surge has really helped me understand my body better and like how to master moves and how to train so that I can get those moves, you know.
I see.
Yeah, I appreciate him putting his time teaching people.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the thing about this culture is this culture came around community. It was not based off battles and all that stuff. Before battle came in, it was based off a community, you know. And to see him putting effort into the community and teaching the community, even if it's not a kid or it's adult, it doesn't matter. It's you're putting the effort of teaching someone. I have to give him props for that, you know. You gotta give him a lot of credit for that because when people put time and give in their passion, you know,
Yeah.
you're building the next generation.
Well, any questions for us or anything else you want to say?
Anything you want to bring up? Shout out people. I don't know. Whatever you
I
want.
give a
Whatever you
shout
want.
out to the culture. I give a shout out to everybody that is like doing something they love. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Nice. It doesn't matter if it's dance, drawing, creating electronics. Who knows what it is? I just as long as you're loving it and you're sharing it and you're giving. I give a shout out to all those other people.
Oh,
Because we all need that, you know.
Yes,
We're
we
all
do.
We're all leaders. We're all mentors. It's just how we set our examples, you know.
Oh, I like that. There's like specific people I want to shout out. Our Thursday night Get Right crew, Serge, who's our teacher, and then me, Steven, Caitlin, Kate08, aka Gremlin, and
love her.
Monica, aka Two Flow. It's been great having that space to like train with people and have the the guidance and mentorship from someone like Serge. But for you all, I'm curious, like, how do you, like, what makes you feel safe when you come to dance events?
Events. If I'm being honest, I don't feel safe unless I'm standing next to either my brother Justin or him. When I'm kind of by myself, I feel very vulnerable and like, because like, in all honesty, breaking culture is very alcohol, drugs, sex. If I'm,
Yeah.
you know, like it's kind of the after parties and situations that happen and you know like the scandals and that type of stuff. So it's hard to kind of feel safe and just walk into a room and even though I know a lot of the people there because of the cruise, I feel like I always have to stand by one of them. So if that's just me being transparent.
Yeah, that's okay. You
Yeah.
know.
But you're saying you don't feel safe because of things that happen outside of the actual events or things that happen at the event?
They usually happen after the events, so
So
it's kind of just like waiting for something to happen.
Is that like an always consistent thing?
I don't. It kind of seems like something always happens, right?
Well, I mean, I guess an example would have been like how Denver NV situation.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, you have people that you think that you can trust or this and that, and all of a sudden it happened. Things like that happen,
Things like that.
incidences.
situation.
It's like
And it's
you
just-
just never know.
And I guess, I mean, you're probably not in a certain paranoia almost. You're more
I
just,
definitely have anxiety around
yeah,
it,
it's
especially
more just
with
anxiety.
you know you never know a person when you think you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 'cause that could also come back to with the whole situation with your ex. Like, it's just that
Yeah,
little bit of
exactly.
traumatic experience. Like, you
Yeah.
can
Exactly.
kind of almost, where do you put your trust when the person that you trusted most kind of did you the most wrong?
We're also wrong.
You know,
Yeah.
and now it's a community of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Do you
yeah.
do you feel like if there had been more done to like with your ex to say like, well, he's not welcome in these spaces, and you knew there was like that kind of framework for like people who, I don't know if sexual harassment is the right word, but like statutory rape women or children, like if there was more of a clear like these people are going to be not welcomed in these spaces, do you think you would feel safer?
Yes and no. I feel like people would look at me as, why are you blowing up the situation, or why are you being dramatic, or now we can't have someone in a certain space because of you.
This is how you support women. This is how you make women feel safe. So to not put us in that kind of situation where we even have to worry about
Yeah.
repercussions of speaking out. Like it should be
Well,
clear.
you never know what his tension could be outside,
Yeah.
of the dancing, because he could end up pulling something stupid or do something to hurt you,
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So it's just more like having a safe space,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
say if something were to happen and then he knows it's because of me, or he listens to an episode, or his family comes at me, or, like, where he starts saying things like my wrongs, or because everyone's made mistakes. Like, I wasn't perfect in the relationship either, but I feel like a lot of it was just the reaction of not trusting him because of what he did. But I just feel like it would be a fight,
Right.
And I feel like because of that, then people would look at me as like, you're not even in the scene. Why are you doing this? Why are you creating this drama? Why are you,
And that's common. A lot of these like b-boys don't hear other sides.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that we listen to your perspective. Even if you're not like a dancer, you're still part of this community.
Well, no, speaking out is really hard.
It
Yeah.
is. Especially when you have people criticizing you, too, and not hearing your side. And people should be more open, Like for me, I grew up being accepted to differences and I respect people's differences and support people's differences and what support looks like and what, they need to take accountability of their action and not hide it.
It's hard because I feel like behind the scenes, it's very much parties and drinking and that type of stuff. But then when it's on social media, it's like love and community and family. But it's so almost, not the word toxic, but it's like almost like scary what people don't actually know on the surface about it.
No, yeah.
You know?
You know, for all of us who go through that, we start to be more open and telling the communities what's going on. Because if they don't, then it's right away, honestly. Not waiting till later. Because if you wait till later, people are like, well, why do you wait so long? Just say it.
Well, we have to give people like the time they need, because if you're a victim, then
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
there's no
saying I'm
timeline.
not saying, you know, like, don't do that. But I'm just saying, like, you think of, like, politics, you know, you think of all these other people's opinions, and you're going to, like, for example, like, if you're triggered from a lot of these stuff, like,
but there has to be like a demonstrated safety net for people to feel safe
yeah.
automatically speaking out. If you're just speaking out and you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know what kind of repercussions you're going to receive, that's a big risk to say, like, I'm just going to say it and see what happens. You know, there has to be already examples so that you know you'll be safe.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Someone has to be brave enough in order for something like, to be a domino effect almost.
Right.
But it's like, who's going to take that backlash?
Well, and how but they shouldn't have to deal with backlash. The community should stand up and show, like, there will not be backlash.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We've got you.
I feel like that's why doing the toxic relationship story, it was my way of being like, a lot of people don't know what happened, and I'm just going to say it. And even though I didn't say names, people know who I'm talking about, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like Juan and Eve, when they went through that whole what's his name?
Denver.
Yeah.
D-Mac,
Like, a lot of girls came out.
Yeah, they did.
After that came out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, if this guy was actually been accountable, that first person, this would probably not happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you don't know, like, if he would be held accountable by the first person, or the first person would have been just dismissed. Because when you look at it, it's like, oh, these are like small things, but compounded, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
And you don't know if he can take the next step. You know, because this is
that's
like
true.
Back to the toxic relationships podcast. Like, neither of us knew that about your ex.
Yeah.
Like, we had no idea.
Yeah.
So that was enlightening for us. And like I said before we started, like, that makes me feel like the conversation's not over. Like, we need to keep talking about that and how to make sure you feel safe and other people feel safe, and that like young women that are coming to jams are not put at risk. That's really important. That should be the main conversation. How are we protecting women, not how are we helping B-boys that we've known for a long time save face.
Yeah, because like having the backlash of it is something I'm scared of. But the minor that he was talking to, they actually met at a dance event. So, yeah.
So, not safe.
No.
Yeah.
They met at a dance event?
Yeah.
Dang. I don't know why. Okay, yeah, we can talk about that. But yeah.
Well, I'll just say thank you again.
Yeah.
Katie.
I really appreciate
you
you guys
sharing that.
Yeah.
And we appreciate both of you having us on here.
Yeah, it was fun.
Sharing a
Like,
little bit about us.
I think this should be more conversation around that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if we're trying to make a safe community.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything else to say. I mean, I'm very happy that y'all were on here
Yes,
and
it was
can
fun.
actually, you know, tell your stories and support, you know, and show that, you know, there should be more talks about things like this and open talks about things like this.
And even though we're a startup little podcast, you still came and did this with us. So
Dude, podcasts, when it comes to like just conversations around passions and mental health, and it's so important. You know what I mean? Who's actually really doing that and putting that information out on podcasts right now?
yeah.
Like, we need to start putting that so that there's people out there can actually, who goes through mental health and goes through this, can actually reach out to us and ask questions and inspire them what they can do to feel safe, you know, or what we can do to support them, you know. So this is well needed for our community. It's a well needed podcast, you know.
Simps Pimps is needed. All right, until next time.
Until next time, let's get it going.